Good morning, day 31. So sorry I didn't do a closing narration last night. I got into my tent at 4:30 and honestly I had plenty of time to do it, but just wasn't feeling up to it. I had my first experience with some homesickness and loneliness last night. It's been a really, really long time since I've felt that on the trail, and I kind of wanted to just sit with it by myself and feel it and process it and talk myself through it. It's, one of those things you have to just kind of remind yourself this too shall pass and it's all part of the process. It definitely took me by surprise. I wasn't really feeling that way, but I guess my brain thought otherwise. I'm feeling much better this morning. It does go away, but it is, like I said, it's something that does happen out here, especially when you're doing more of a solo adventure. I think in reflection, part of it is just knowing that Andrew has kind of gone ahead, and the group that I was walking with for a while, like Professor and even Genesis for a little while, the connections that I had with those people, they're gone now. And Catherine's a day back, and I haven't really made any connections with the people that have been around me here. So sometimes it just gets a little lonely, even though that's what I want out here. It's like a yin yang kind of thing. There's got to be a happy middle. But today I'm going into Nature's Inn Hostel for a 0. Today will be 10.5, so it won't be a Nero. It'll be officially past that. And I'm a little kind of feeling like I need it, and I kind of feel like I don't. The time I had at Laughing Heart in Hot Springs was almost like a 0. But I've got the time, so I'm going to take it. And honestly, I did wake up with a little bit of a headache today, probably because it started raining yesterday and I didn't get enough hydration in. And even though I tried harder than previous days and got more in, it's just really hard to, get the bottle out of the backpack, get the gloves off to drink, juggling the hiking poles all while wearing the poncho. It's kind of a pain in the butt, so I think I just naturally don't do it as much. But I did make a conscious effort to keep doing it. My back is a little cranky. My knees are still a little bit sore this morning. Not terribly, a lot better than yesterday, and they weren't even that bad, but I can just sense it. So I guess I need the break, so we're gonna take it. And the only other thing is I'm still getting really unsatisfactory sleep quality readings on my watch. There's gotta be something wrong with the way the algorithm works. It keeps telling me that I need to rest, and I think it's just that I go all day long every day and burn like 1,000 calories every day, and so the watch just doesn't get that this is actually what you're supposed to be doing. But I'm just gonna try and work on getting some good sleep. I think that I've got the vlogging situation down where it shouldn't take me an exorbitant amount of time, so I'm actually looking forward to some good relaxation. It's not going to be in a town or anywhere where there's a lot of things to do. It's pretty isolated, no Wi-Fi, but apparently good cell service. So hopefully I'll be able to upload. But it sounds like just a really good place to just get some rest in. So that's what we're going to do. All right, I'm going to finish up my breakfast and coffee and hit the trail. So we'll see you all down the way. So I just arrived at Devil's Fork Gap. Gavin and Happy passed me last night just as I was setting up camp. Gavin is from Maine. Happy's the dog. And I know that they're in here because he described the van that his wife is following them along the trail with. So he's in there getting a nice cushy sleep tonight with his missus. And Happy was freezing, shivering away when he passed my campsite. So he only had a little ways to go to get into a nice warm bed of blankets. Dorothy's gravesite. She lived to be 100 years old. You can really see how the forest floor is starting to green up now. The trail is more consistently lined in green as well. Come on, sprint! Getting to the top of this climb, the climb that isn't even a mountain. I just looked at my far out app and I'm only halfway. Oh, this has been a good climb. But it should be the only one for the day. And here's Anna. Hey, Anna. There's Anna. Can you see her? She is behind some trees right now. Oh my God, this trail is steep. You can see her. There she is in the clearing just below the horizon. That leads me to a topic that I think I'm going to expand upon and talk about a little more today. But first, let me finish this climb and get into some sunshine because it's about time for a break. Well, I just finished up my break. Didn't get to talk to you about the topic I was hoping to get to, but the reason for that was because I saw a young man that I met yesterday moving out of his campsite, so I figured I'd go over and take my break with him. His name is Matt, and he is a senior in high school, and he is out hiking a section of the AT, 144 miles, I think he said, while he's on his spring break. He lives just right in Johnson City, this is basically in his backyard, and he's not a big fan of all the thru hikers. He usually avoids the AT this time of year, but he says he was going to be out for a whole week. Usually he only goes out for a weekend, And so we thought it might be a good idea to have a little company. So he's really, really shy. I got him to talking, and he's a pretty cool kid. He's planning on going to college in Oregon for environmental science, and he can't get out much in the summertime because he works for a landscaping company. So yeah, nice kid. And also just figured I'd give you a little brief blurb about Anna, who you saw down the trail. I've been leapfrogging with her the last couple days. She is from Vermont, and she said she had been living somewhere else recently, and that's where she grew up in Vermont. She doesn't live there anymore. She is actually living on the trail right now. She is in between locations, and she doesn't know where she's going until after she finishes this trail, what her next thing would be. But it sounds like she works from home for something. Probably not going to see her again. And that's the general theme that will lead into our later discussion. I got to get going. The climb continues now, and my hand is getting cold. I don't know if I said earlier it was 32 degrees this morning, so I don't think it's much further into the 40s right now. All right, talk later. Here's testament to how cold it is right now. Those of us who get up early in the morning and go running or whatnot know that the coldest part of the day is not when it's still dark out. It's almost always like an hour after daylight, before the sun has a chance to hit the earth. That climb I've been talking about, I finally made to the top, and it does have a name. It's called Divide Mountain Lick Rock. AT has some pretty strange names for their mountains, but man, I'm pretty glad that's over with. It's basically been uphill for almost 4 miles, and the funny thing is, I've done climbs that hard before, but today I just don't think my head was in it for some reason. I think I'm already at my 0 location for the day. So hopefully downhill most of the way from here, and I think I'm about halfway, so 5 more miles. Okay. Just a little disclaimer here. I realize that I'm not the best speaker in the world. I don't express myself as clearly as other folks do. I do my best, I try. So take that for what it's worth. But what I do want to talk about today is the loneliness and homesickness that I had mentioned this morning. I think it's an important topic, especially for any potential people who want to consider thru hiking. It happens, and it kind of happens unexpectedly. You can be walking along in a perfectly good mood, and then all of a sudden it just hits you over the back of the head, and you're like, what happened? And then you start thinking about all of the things that are comfortable at home, your family, your pets, your routine, the favorite things that you like to do, and kind of like how everybody's just going about their business, and it kind of doesn't, it feels like they don't even miss you. Like you're just out here and doing this thing, and you've been gone so long that you're sort of forgotten. So kind of something like that. It's like having butterflies in your stomach, and you can't just wish it away. You just sort of have to ride with it. And I think part of it for me is similar to just having a fear for other things. Like, I have a fear of the cold and getting wet, and I get really anxious when I start to losing dexterity in my fingers. I can't do things, and I think that I'm not going to be able to move fast enough in order to get into warm clothes and a warm sleeping bag to get me warm. And it just leads you down this spiraling rabbit hole that you're going to die, or that something really bad is going to happen. It's the end of the world. It's doom. So I kind of realized that's one of the things that I think I'm working on out here, is not having this doom mentality every time I feel a little bit of discomfort. Same thing with my knee. You know, everything, and every little ache and pain can lead you down the rabbit hole that, oh my God, I'm getting an injury. I'm not going to be able to finish the trail, blah, blah, blah. So homesickness is kind of the same thing. You kind of have to ride with it, feel it through, and it does eventually go away. The other thing is it's very real, and it may be really hard for some people to manage it, to handle it. I think when you're younger and you're very social and you are hiking with a group and then you get injured or something changes and you can't keep up with the group and you have to split, that can be devastating for some people. I mean, here I am hiking alone, solo, and I still feel that loneliness and disconnect because I'm not with a group, and the people that I meet, I know, are just passing because most people are going ahead of me, are going faster, or they're not taking as many Neros and zeros as I am. So it's really hard to maintain the same pace as them. So, you know, sometimes I feel like, for instance, with Anna, I don't even want to put forth the energy to really get to know her good because I know she's going to be gone and I'm probably never going to see her again. So it's hard for people who aren't familiar with the terminologies of the trail. There's a thing on the trail that's called having a tramley. So it's basically TR from trail, remove the F from family, and add in, smush them together so you have a tramley. It's your trail family. So it's very desirous to be in one because you take care of each other and you look out for each other and you all go the same pace together. You do everything together. And I definitely have in the past longed to be in one. And every now and then I feel the urge to want to be in one. But I've come to realize for me, they just cause a lot of pressure to keep up. Especially when you're the slowest person in the group, you feel that more. Or maybe if you're the fastest, you don't want to slow down for the others. You want to keep going, and you push the other members in your group to do the mileage that you want to do. So I've come to realize that it's not a good scenario for me, and that is why I like to travel alone. But it is nice to see the same people that you know at the end of the day or in a town. So that's, that for me contributes to my loneliness and homesickness that I experience. And the other thing too is I'm going to a more remote zero location this time. There's not going to be a large group of people there like the last couple of spots. So I think that also contributed to my feelings yesterday. I feel like I have a good handle on them now, but I thought it was important to share that so that people understood that that's something that you do have to watch out for out here and be ready for, and don't let it take you out. I think it's a very natural thing to feel. After all, we are humans. we are social beings. We want to feel accepted and belonged and united. And this community of thru hikers has a very strong bond. In this particular trail, it's Maine. And now that I've started thinking about it more, for me, not wanting to be part of a tramily kind of is like being afraid of commitment, being afraid of getting hurt, that eventually I'm going to have to split from the group for, because they're moving faster than I am, or I get an injury and I need to rest. And I'm afraid of that pain if I have to do that. So that could be part of it. I think I'm pretty okay being by myself, but you never know. Being all serious and honest, though, I know that it's the right decision to not be a part of a tramway for me. I just think I've gotten to the point in my life where I just want to do my own thing, do it the way I want to, how I want to, when I want to. It's very selfish, sure, but I'm out here hiking my own hike, so I want to do it my way. And for me, my way is doing it on my own. And the side effects or the downfalls of that are that I'm going to go through these moments where I do kind of feel sort of like, in a way, I guess, left out or just lonely. Just basically lonely. And that's okay, because this is my journey. Everyone else is going to do their thing, is doing their thing. I'm going to do my thing. So I just ran into the man who does these blazes. Don't touch, these are fresh. He's reblazing the trail. Hello from Nature's Inn Hostel. Amy is a super great host. She came and picked me up at Sam's Gap today at 12 o'clock. I actually had to backtrack some miles today because I had heard that there was trail magic at the Gap, and when I got down there wasn't anyone around. And I had talked to Amy, and she had told me to meet her in the south paved parking lot, which I saw there, but right about at the same time, 700 caught up to me, and I got a little confused and just out of my element, I guess, because I didn't know where the trail magic was, and it was going under a freeway, I-26, I think it was. So I thought maybe it was on the other side of the freeway, but the way the freeway went, we had actually gone under both northbound and southbound, or east and westbound, whatever it was in the area. And 700 and I were actually making our way back up the trail, gabbing away, and then I started to get really hot because I still had all my clothes on from this morning, so I stopped to take everything off and told him I'd catch up to him, and that's when Groot came up and said, "Hey, Sunkissed, Supra Mom is looking for you." Supra Mom is Amy's trail name. She was now back down at the parking lot, and I was actually supposed to call her. She wasn't just going to come by. So it was all just a big confusing mess, but everything worked in my favor. Thank goodness Groot ended up taking a little side trip down to a shelter so that he was behind me, and I thought he was in front of me. And it was wonderful that Amy came without me having to call her. So I think it was only like a 10-minute delay. And I only probably walked maybe 3 or 5 minutes further up the trail than I needed because I had stopped to take all my clothing off. well, all my, because I had stopped to take off my layers. And then it's only 2.5 miles to her hostel from the trail, like a 10-minute drive, if that. So I was here before 1 o'clock, all settled into my little, it's basically a shed that they put bunks in. Last thing I'm just gonna update you guys on, my knee pain did kind of really escalate today. So fortunately it was a shorter day. It was only 10.5 miles. And then I'm taking a 0 tomorrow, which was planned, but I was actually contemplating about skipping that and just staying overnight and getting back on the trail. Everything else has been feeling really good. And I was kind of thinking I was ready to push on and maybe catch up on some of the 0 days that I've already taken. But I think it's a lesson in the fact that I shouldn't be looking backwards. I should only be looking forwards. Just forget about those zeros, because I might end up taking a 00 here if my knee does not drastically improve tomorrow, which it very well may, but it was unfortunate that it was feeling a little funny yesterday and then was just full blown a problem today. Hopefully just calming it down and giving it a little break is what it needs. Another hiker here, his name is Ozoner. He had a Theragun, so I was able to use that, which was quite luxurious. And I have been massage balling it a lot since I've gotten here. Like every couple of hours, I'm just trying to wail on it a little bit. And it's actually, I'm not wailing on my knee. I'm working on my hamstrings, my calf. And I found that there's a pretty tender spot when I touch the area on my anterior shin, so that could be the culprit for the problem. So we're gonna work on that a little bit more. I've got some magic potion stuff that I can roll on it and see if that helps any. Hopefully that's the problem. I really don't think like it's anything to do directly with my knee, so hopefully it is just muscular related and some stuff is tight. My quads also feel tight, so it could be any one of those things or a combination of everything. So it really, really is important that I get the proper rest and sleep while I'm here. And then on the day that I am going back to the trail, Amy comes up from Asheville, which is about 30 to 35 minutes away, and she already gets up super early in the morning. So the earliest I can get back to the trail, leave here to get back to the trail, it's 8 o'clock. So I'm going to be having a little bit later start when I do return to the trail, and that's going to hopefully force me into a lighter mileage day. And then it will be one more solid day into my next resupply. And it kind of worked out that this is a short little section, because I actually ended up doing 8.5 miles longer in this section. Of course, I got myself into this situation before I knew that my knee was going to be a problem. I was only 2 miles from where I planned to exit, and if I could have gotten out there, my knee may have never gotten so bad this morning. But at 2 miles in the day, I kind of just thought that the pain was going to go away. So anyways, that's where we're at with this. I'll give you an update tomorrow, show you around the place, and we'll go from there. All right, good night.